Every small town has a story, and we're here to shine a light on the people, places, and moments that make ours unforgettable. Welcome to the Small Town Bold Stories podcast. On this episode of the podcast, we sat down with Nick Powers. He is the president of the Fuller Center for Housing here in Meade County. Nick, you may know from Meade County Bank, but he's also giving back to the community on this local board. It was formerly known as Habitat for Humanity, serving people, helping them with housing. They tell us about how the organization works, but then also about an upcoming event that they have in August that you can be a part of and you can still buy a ticket for. I hope you enjoy this conversation that we had. Okay. Well, welcome to the podcast, Nick. Appreciate you coming on. Give us a little bit of background about yourself and then tell us about the Fuller House as well, and we'll get into kind of to the why we're here and what's coming up with you all.
Sure. So again, my name is Nick Powers. By day, I work at Meade County Bank. By night or in my free time, I do volunteer with the Fuller Center for Housing in Meade County. I'm on the board. I'm the president of the board. I've been active on the board since about 2018, 2019.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been a little bit of a journey. We were previously Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So I don't think a lot of people probably do either. But you know, we kind of transitioned and we got to where we are today, and we can get into that in a little bit.
Sure.
But speed round. Just kind of off the wall, so
Okay.
to be a little fun. Book or podcast that you like?
I don't read as much as I should, and
I don't either.
There's a lot of benefits to living 2 minutes from your office, but one of them is not listening to podcasts. One of the books that I have read that I really enjoy, Dave Ramsey's EntreLeadership. I really enjoyed that book. I don't agree with a lot of what Dave Ramsey says. I agree with some of it. It's kind of radical.
Yeah, it is.
But his leadership stuff is really good.
Okay.
And what I like about it is the way that he approaches leadership is kind of like running your own, no matter what level of business you're in or who you work for, even if you work for somebody else, being a leader is like running your own business.
Sure.
And I took a lot of good things away from that. A book that I'm trying to read through right now is Mornings on Horseback. It's about Teddy Roosevelt.
I bet that one's interesting.
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt is pretty interesting, dude. Yeah.
Okay, I might have to check those out. So this is kind of off the wall, but like if you have to think of a mascot for our community and like explains our community, what do you think it would be?
A mascot for our community. I mean, I really don't know, and in an effort to keep it as a speed round, like you said, I think the Green Wave probably does a pretty good job because it is so unique.
Yeah,
and
it's definitely unique.
There is no place like Meade County, and I'm going to have to go with the easy answer and just say the uniqueness of the Green Wave covers it all.
Other people have done it. So you kind of mentioned it earlier. It was formerly known as Habitat for Humanity, transitioned to a different name, and I didn't realize kind of what had happened, and I asked you one day, like, what's the deal? So I think a lot of other people might have that same question. So tell us kind of the reasoning behind that and what happened.
So to start with the history of it, in 1990 is when Habitat for Humanity originally started here in Meade County.
Okay.
And they called their kind of local branches affiliates. So we had a local Habitat for Humanity affiliate since 1990.
Wow.
And it operated up until 2024. When I came on the board 2017, 2018, 2019, it's all kind of a blur now.
Time flies.
You know, there's iterations of different volunteer boards, and we were in a certain life cycle, and we had a it wasn't a restore, but it was a reuse store. We had a thrift store that we ran. The organization looked a little bit different. As we grew and as we progressed into this next level, Habitat as an organization from an international level was changing.
It's a big organization.
It's a big organization, and we kind of just outgrew each other is what it was. And so a lot of our resources and our time were spent working for the international organization and a lot less being done here.
Locally.
And as I was driving to Corden one day, which I do quite often, I was going downtown, and they used to have a Habitat restore.
I saw it right there when you come down.
Right when you come down right into downtown, and one day the sign was different, and it said the Fuller Center for Housing. And so me being unafraid to ask anybody hardly any question, I just called them and said, "Hey, what is this?"
Yeah.
And they told me everything, and it was a really good day. And I did a little bit more research, and I found that the man who started started Habitat for Humanity in 1970, late 70s, 1980, was Millard Fuller, and he actually left Habitat for Humanity in the mid-2000s and started the Fuller Center as more of a grassroots approach to doing the same thing, which is combating poverty housing. And the vision for both organizations is a world where everybody has a decent place to live, decent, affordable housing. Not extravagant homes, not tiny homes, affordable, decent housing. And when we had our initial discussions with them, they told me, or I call them the mothership, they said, Nick, we don't know how your community needs help. You may not need houses. You might have people that need wheelchair ramps. You might need people who need, you might have people who need handicap accessible
bathrooms
or maybe just quality of life improvements to their home that they can't afford. You tell us how your people need help and we'll tell you how to help them. And immediately when they said that, I knew that this was the place for us.
Clicked.
Yeah.
Made sense.
You can be as big or as small as you want to be with the Fuller Center. And it's been great ever since.
So really focusing on the local community and how everyone is different and then doing what that community needs.
And every organization has requirements. We do have to report to them certain financial aspects of our organization, and we are a 501c3, so that stuff is important, but it's very minimal. We have like 4 reports that we have to give them every year, and then that's the only interface we have with them. They truly do say, just call us when you need help. And that's awesome. That's it.
That's awesome. So 1990, that's a long time. I didn't realize it had been that long.
Ain't that long. I was born in 1990.
Well, I mean, that's a while.
Yeah.
But, I've known some of the houses that have been built. Maybe tell us a little bit of the history of like what had been done in the past for Meade County, just so people can kind of get an idea of that.
Unfortunately, I don't have such a wide view of the history of the organization. I know of about 7 to 10 houses that have been built.
Okay.
Now, just to do some quick math, typically when they would do a home, it would be on a 20-year loan that the people would repay. So, and most of those are built either the same year or within 3 years apart. I would venture to say Habitat's built 25 to 50 homes since 1990, which would be a lot.
Yeah. And
as I'm doing these type of things, as we're rebuilding the Fuller Center, and we're starting from not scratch, but we're building on the foundation that local Habitat affiliate built. I'm learning more things they've done. They've done things like, I think, dig wells for people.
Really?
We've done a wheelchair ramp ourselves. There's a lot of things that they can do, and
just a house like people typically think about.
Right. Now, are we that today? No. I want to focus on housing currently and building houses and upgrading houses for people. But I'd like to see us grow to do a lot more than just that.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, you mentioned on 20-year note, I don't think a lot of people realize the families that are a part of the program, they are kind of paying for the houses in a sense. It's not just given to them. Maybe tell people a little bit about how that works, because I didn't necessarily realize that myself.
When I started on the board, I thought it was free houses funded by the government, and I thought Jimmy Carter wrote a check every once in a while just to kind of keep it going. That's not the case at all. Everything we do is donation-based, volunteer-based, everything. So if we don't have support from the community, we don't have donors, we don't have money to operate.
Sure.
Now, our operation, we do have an office, we do have some costs there, very, very minimal.
Pretty lean, though.
Very lean, very lean. But, so that was the misconception for me. I've come to learn that when these homeowners are selected, because they go through a selection process, we can get to that in a minute.
Sure.
Once they're selected, they have to put in 300 to 500 sweat equity hours in the project from start to finish.
That's a lot.
Hammering nails, picking up debris, hanging siding, painting walls, even something as simple as homeownership classes, financial literacy classes. This program is not for somebody who can't afford down payment. It's not down payment assistance. It's not somebody who has a little bit of credit issue or maybe filed bankruptcy a couple years ago and just has to work through that. These are people who have historically maybe never owned anything, and generationally never owned anything. And people who don't know what it means to own a home, what it means to maintain a home. And so not only are we providing them the opportunity for home ownership, we're training them. It's all encompassing, and we're training them. And it's also, once you give them the keys, it's not over. One part of our organization that we have is called family support. And we're constantly talking to our homeowners, asking them if they need anything. They'll come to us for advice. If they have something wrong that needs repair in their house, we'll try to get them with a local reputable contractor, and also maybe try to do a little bit of jockeying for them. Say, hey, your regular $100 service call to fix a lateral line, can you work on it for them?
Yeah.
And I'm not asking them to work for free, but let's work together and help people.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
That makes sense.
And so they give these $300 to $500 sweat equity, or 300 to 500 hour sweat equity hours, but every dime that's spent on the house is paid back. And we have shifted to 30-year mortgages only because if we're here to break barriers to home ownership with the rising cost of construction, because it still costs money.
Exactly.
We have to figure out a way to make it affordable monthly for these people while also not putting them in a bad spot.
Sure.
And so
switching to 30 helps with that, obviously.
And if they were to go into a bank, they would apply for a 30-year mortgage.
Sure.
And so hanging on to that 20-year mortgage may be more of a barrier than
exactly
trying to overcome that hurdle.
To a 30-year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in a sense, they put kind of the sweat part of it in, but then they're also paying back, and you all are kind of holding the note
right
during that time frame.
Yes. And so it's a 30-year mortgage at 0%. We're a Christian organization, but we're a non-proselytizing organization. And what that means is that you don't have to be associated with a church. You don't have to be a Christian to get help from us. You just need help.
Sure.
And ask us for help, and we'll help you. But the reason I point that out is we charge 0% interest because the Bible says you shouldn't charge interest on people who can't afford it. So we don't offer help in hopes of getting something back.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we're pocketing no money, but the thought is their house payments go and fill the coffers again, and so we have enough money to make the next house, to build the next house and the next one. And part of the program also is once you are awarded that home and you're making those payments, the next time we build a home, you're out there, you're helping that next homeowner, you're putting in some hours for them, you're maybe offering them some advice, saying, hey, here's what I did, here's how I did it, I've been where you are, and it's a little bit of a mentorship program as well.
Yeah, that they can relate with and
for sure
help everybody there. So how does it work? Like, how does somebody, like, if they're needing help, like, what does that look like for somebody if they need housing, or maybe some of the other things, but mainly housing, I guess, at this point?
Sure. So the first thing you would do is reach out to us. We have a traditional phone number, 270-422-5445. Okay. I know it's kind of archaic in these days, but we still have a landline.
Yep.
We are purely a volunteer board, so we don't have somebody at the office all the time. Might take a little bit to get back to you that way. Yep. We also have a Facebook. We just hit the 1,000 followers threshold. I know that's
always good.
Yeah, it's one of the many milestones I hope to hit. But you can reach out to us there. We are in the process of building a website. We're going to have some good contact forms on there.
Okay.
I actually hope to have a step-through application. But basically, what you're doing when you're asking for assistance is you're just applying. We have a project application process. Is this a project that we can take on right now financially? Mm-hmm. Is it one that we can take on? Do we have the number of volunteers we need? And also we do have to underwrite it a bit. Do you really need the help you think you need?
Yeah.
So they contact us. We kind of get all the details. We'll give you an application, and then after you fill out this pre-application that we have, we'll kind of do a 10,000-foot view look of it and say, okay, one of the criteria that you have to meet to qualify, you have to live in Meade County or in our area for 12 months. I say in our area because Breckenridge County doesn't have a program like this currently.
Really?
And previously, Habitat has operated, the Brandenburg or the Meade County Habitat affiliate did operate in Breckenridge County, so we wouldn't automatically disqualify that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The closest help that they have, I think, is Owensboro.
Wow.
So you apply. We look at kind of those wide sweeping criteria and say, okay, we think you'll make it to the next level. Then we look at the finances. Can you repay this? What's it going to cost? Can you put the sweat equity hours in? If somebody's asking for a home, we even go through and we'll make house visits to see, okay, are you living in a situation that is dangerous to you or your family? Are you cohabitating do you have a family of 12 in one bedroom? That's somebody who needs help more than somebody who's got 5 people in 4 bedrooms. You know?
Gotcha. So there are things that would immediately kind of red flag somebody to not move forward versus moving forward, or is it really just on a case-by-case basis?
It's really a case-by-case basis. And so as we evaluate these things, we have a family selection committee made up of community members. They're not on the board. they will look through all these criteria and they will make a recommendation to the board. Now, it's the board's decision ultimately, but the family selection committee are the people that are going out meeting people, interviewing people. Yeah.
I got you.
And we rotate that out. So this most recent iteration of the family selection committee, when you serve on it, most people say, "Oh, I want to do this again." Like it really is fulfilling. You get to know people.
I'm sure.
And it really, and we have fun. I tend to have fun with whatever I do. So we do have fun, but the goal is to not have the same committee every time. Rotate out, give other people opportunity to learn,
not get burned
to
out
understand it, and not get burnt out. Yeah, as with most volunteer boards.
So it's probably a pretty lengthy process.
It can be
to get it all taken care of. I would say
this round we had about 15 applications. I think it took us about 6 months to get through all of them. Of those 15, about 12 of them were just automatic. Well, you've not lived in Meade County for 12 months consecutively, or you just filed bankruptcy 2 months ago, like things that would automatically disqualify you. But 3 or 4 applications we were working on for 6 months.
6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And you've probably seen over the last couple of years with housing costs the way they are and everything rising, you've probably seen more of a need there, I'm sure, than you have in the past as well. Gotcha.
Yeah. The other big part of it is the income requirement. Our guideline says you have to be 30 to 50% of the median household income.
Okay.
That's a really thin line, because if you make less than that, a house costs what it costs to build.
Regardless.
So if you make less than that, you can't hardly, the calculation doesn't work out to where you can afford it, fits in your budget. But if you make much more than that, then some people would argue that you can just buckle down, save some down payment, get your traditional 3.5% down, 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So it's really thin, and we found that out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I would say so. So, you're getting stuff donated. That's materials, I'm sure, as well as money. But all that stuff comes in, and then it kind of gives you, here's what we've got, here's what we can build. I'm guessing, what's that look like? We
work really closely with local contractors to keep our eyes on what it's going to cost to build. And, nothing's perfect. When you build, you're going to have unknowns. It's just going to happen.
Part of it.
And so, but when you're dealing with donated money, you have to be extra diligent to say, okay, we've taken care to make sure that our overage is very, very minimal.
Yeah.
And we've had a gambit. We've run the gambit with donations. There's been some people who've donated the labor, some people who've donated materials, some people have donated both. We've been very fortunate to have a lot of really good local contractors who've been willing to step up and help. And I understand they can't help every time. And, the goal is to get enough people involved in this that we can rotate people in and out. You help with this one, you help with the next one, and get everybody involved. Our community is so good about helping people when they need help. This is such a tangible project that somebody can go and say, I helped build that house, I helped that person.
Have some pride in it.
And it's also enriching. You don't have to know how to build a house to come help. And so somebody who's never held a hammer before is going to help frame a wall. You're going to have a contractor with them right there to say, this is how you do it.
And don't hurt yourself.
Yes, don't hurt yourself. And I'm going to make sure it's done right. But the volunteer gets to help. They get to learn. They get to make a difference. It's a win-win for everybody.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. So you have one getting ready to get started. Ground's already broke, I think, maybe, middle of June?
We had a groundbreaking in the middle of June. We had a wet June and July.
We did.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy wet summer.
It's been nuts. But I spoke with Delmar Miller of Miller Construction today. We plan to actually dig the footers next week.
Okay.
We're going to lay it out this weekend. We're going to dig the footers this week. And then once the footers are dug, that's when the walls start going up.
It'll probably go pretty quick at that point, I'd say.
We have a self-imposed deadline of having our covenant partner in by Thanksgiving. We can hit it. Yeah. We can do it. We can do it.
They can do it. It's just going to be a lot of hard work, I'm sure. So
a lot of weekends.
So they'll be putting their time in. Everybody else will be kind of donating their time as well, and their resources. They get in it, and then those programs you mentioned kind of help them stay in the home, learn about it, and then happily ever after, I'm assuming, and then they help with the next build more than likely, I guess.
Yep.
Gotcha. So what do you think it probably costs to build one of those homes? If you had to put a number on it, or have you done that? So the standard home that we build is a 1,200 square foot home. 3 bed, 2 bath?
3 bed, 2 bath.
Okay.
We are revisiting that for the future. But currently we're building a 1,200 square foot, 3-bed, 2-bath, rectangle home.
Simple.
It's a very simple design. We're anticipating it would be about $100 a square foot,
Sounds about right.
which is a really low number by construction standards. But 100 to 120 a square foot is what we're prepared to have.
I got you. That makes sense. So, speaking of like community support, obviously money's always key to make things like this work. You've got something coming up in August, so give us a little bit of background. I think it's the first time you've done this. Sounds kind of exciting.
So we're doing what we're calling the Foundations of Hope Gala, and we are hoping that it is an annual gala. And what it is we're going to have a night of fun. We're going to have good music. We're going to have good food, and we're going to have a silent live auction, and we're all going to come together and just help support our family, whether that's just to be there to support her, to listen to her story. The homeowner that we've chosen, her name is Catherine Ryder.
Okay.
She's going to be there to share her story, and every time she's told it, I've about come to tears, and I think she will too. And I don't think she would care that I said that on here. So,
no.
But
It's
she's going to tell a
I'm
great
sure.
story. She's a great lady. But we're going to try to do as much as we can to get as much money raised to help this home and then help the next one.
It's 9th.
August 9th, 5:30 to 9:30.
Okay.
Farm Bureau building.
Gotcha.
We're going to have a bar, entertainment, and
Local entertainment too. I
local
think, right?
entertainment band called the Leftovers. We
Yep.
chose them because they've got some local people that are in that band, and we'd figured that some local people would want to watch some local people.
Local's always good.
Yeah, we'll have some dancing. I probably won't be dancing, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
If you're like me, I don't dance too well. So.
But I'll be bopping my head.
And I think I dance good, but I really don't when it comes down to it, and I just embarrass myself.
I think I bet you're probably fine.
Nah,
Better
I
than
doubt
me,
it.
at least.
I doubt it. So that's at the Farm Bureau building on the 9th. What kind of silent auction items do you have, or can you say yet?
I don't want to give too much away, but we do have some really nice baskets. Living in Kentucky is a good thing because we have a lot of distilleries and bourbon, and
Lots of good bourbon in Kentucky.
Lots of good bourbon, and they're the first people to give a basket. So we've got a couple good bourbon baskets. We've got, I think Uncle Steph's is going to donate a basket. I don't know what's going to be in it. The Sicilian Bank has given us a really nice summer
I hope it's
basket.
not ice cream.
I don't think it'd be ice
Not
cream.
in too well.
But yeah, right.
Lots of local people coming
Lots of
together
local
to help
people.
a local cause.
Lots of
which
local people.
You said it earlier. That's like what makes our community so interesting is it never fails when something happens. Everybody comes together, it seems like.
Right.
Yeah. Any live auction at that event too?
I want to keep some of that under the hat.
Okay,
So
well,
there will be about 5 to 10 live auction items.
Okay.
I'm pretty proud of some of them because some of them were my idea, but I think it's going to be great. It's
Okay.
great.
Well, I'm excited to know what they are. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So people want to get involved. Like they can buy a ticket to that still. Tell us how they can do that, what that would cost.
We use a platform called Give Butter. And the only reason I'm mentioning it is
Butter.
because it's weird.
It's different.
Give Butter. And it's completely free for us. And it has been really great for us to offer a way for people to pay electronically.
Yeah.
And so we have a Give Butter link.
Okay.
And it tracks the campaign for us. It tells us exactly how much we're doing, how many people have signed up. But it's very easy to use. You click the link, you click Foundation of Hope Gala, and you drop down how many tickets you want, and then you fill out the name of the people on the ticket. When you come in that night, you will sign in. We will have your name on the roster, and then once you get in, you'll get a wristband, and you're good to go. So check our Facebook for the Give Butter link, and then
Put
also
in the show notes too for everybody to link to.
and then also with that link, not just to support a specific campaign, but also general donation. So anytime you feel like you want to give, you can go to our Give Butter site and give whatever you want to.
Butter. I
Give
love
Butter.
that. That's
It's
so interesting.
It's odd, but it's been great.
If
It's
it
been
works,
really
though,
great.
people give that money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
somebody can buy a ticket to come. There's still probably some sponsorship opportunities if somebody wanted to do that, maybe.
The only individual sponsorship opportunity that we have is our bar sponsor. Shirley's Way stepped up in a big way,
Okay.
for lack of better terms, and sponsored our bar for the night. We do have some tiered sponsorships. Our legacy sponsor, Cornerstone, Friend of Fuller. There's about 5 or 6 tiered sponsorships, anywhere from $5,000 all the way down to $250.
Okay.
Some of those come with seats, some of those don't.
So lots of different ways for people to get involved if they want to buy a ticket, if they still want to sponsor something maybe. And I'm sure lots of local businesses have sponsored some of those as well. And we don't have to put you on the spot because there's probably too many to
That's
mention.
fine.
But
We've been really, really fortunate, really blessed.
what's kind of the dress code, or is there one for something like this?
There's not one.
Okay. Just come and spend your money, basically.
So some of the members of the board are trying to call it elevated, which is fine.
Okay, elevated.
But when people ask me, when I tell them elevated, they kind of look at me and I say, if you want to wear jeans, you can wear jeans.
I know somebody that's one of those sponsors, and he said, I'm showing up in jeans.
Yeah.
I'm not getting dressed up.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, I'll be wearing a suit, but I'm not wearing a tie.
Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Just come and have a good time.
It's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time.
Enjoy everybody. Spend some money, hopefully.
Yep.
So that's August 9th. What are like some future goals and dreams for the organization as you move forward, you think?
One thing that I have come to realize is there are so many resources out there for help.
People just don't know about, probably.
We just don't know about. And one of our board members works with the Lincoln Trail District, and they have access to a lot of different programs and things that people could take advantage of. If I had to say one thing that I wish, or my dream for this thing is that not only are we a place where you can come and get some housing assistance, but just a resource.
Yeah.
Somebody comes to us and asks for help with their or their pantry. Their pantries are bare. That's not what we do, but I want to get you to the person that can help you. I don't want to get you to the person who will tell you to call this department and talk to this person. I want to be a resource for people. You talk to this person and they will help you. You will get help as soon as you talk to that person, or that agency or that business. And so, I want to be bigger than just homes. And also my dream is to make it bigger than the current board. I want it to grow such that it will last any one person on the board.
Got you. And I think there's so many resources out there, like you said, for things, but it's just like finding the right person or knowing the person to talk to. And if you can kind of be the guy that is the glue that holds everything together, it kind of puts people in touch with people. Don't reinvent the wheel, just get them to the right person.
Right.
So that's interesting. Okay, so August 9th, they can check you out on Facebook. We'll put all the information in the show notes. Anything else people should know about the organization and what's going on? We
are the same organization that we've always been. We've got the same EIN. We've got the same articles of organization. From the ground up, we're the same people. We're started locally. We're still local, and all of our money stays here. We don't have to send any money to, for lack of better words, the mothership.
Okay.
All of the money stays in our community, which is the biggest thing for me.
Yep.
And we are a 501c3. All of our books are open. You can look us up, all that good stuff. And I want people to help how they want to help, and don't think just because you can't stroke a multi-$1,000 check that you can't help.
Sometimes that doesn't matter.
And as one thing that I'm terrible at is drumming up donations and asking for money, and because
it's tough. It's tough. People don't like doing it,
and I'm not good at it. But one thing that I have told people as we've asked for donations for this gala is, I want you to support in the level that fits you and your business and your personal life best.
Yeah.
And even if it's just saying, hey, I met this guy the other day and he talked way too much about some Fuller Center thing. You probably need to go talk to him. As long as you tell somebody about it,
yep.
That's all I need. And that's all we need, is for everybody to know what we do.
Yep.
Because if everybody knows, somebody who needs it's going to hear it, and we're going to be able to help them.
That's great. Well, hopefully this will help. I'm excited for August 9th to be here to see kind of how it goes. I'm sure it'll be fun, and can't wait to see this next house being built. So thanks for coming on, Nick, and we will see you later.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
Yep. Okay.
So you've got a cool story to tell, something about our community that makes it strong and unique. You have a business. You know someone that has a really cool story about the history of our community or anything else. Well, we want to tell that story on the podcast. So do us a favor and visit smalltownboldstories.com so that we can tell that story next and you get to hear it. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Small Town Bold Stories podcast, brought to you by Next Home Chisholm Realty. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and we'll catch you next time with more bold stories from the heart of our hometowns.